Well, welcome to Dominico Field here at Christie Pitts, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Thomas West alongside Zach Benoit. Big game here today, especially on the side of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, they found themselves on a little bit of a roll lately. They found themselves 2 games over 500. While the Toronto Maple Leafs, boy, have they ever had a busy last couple weeks. And last game, that game against the Hamilton Cardinals, it looked like it was a chance for them to kind of get out of the slump. That didn't quite happen with a tough loss in Hamilton.
Yeah, and the game in Hamilton was a really close one. You know, both teams played exceptionally well. The wind factored in a little bit as well towards the later stages of the game. But to Hamilton's credit, Owen Boone pitched a sensational game. That he looked amazing on the mound, but not to take away from the guy that he faced, Wilhelmus Alvarado. I mean, what a bounce-back game it was for him. We always had that kind of narrative when it comes to Willie that he likes to start the season slow. We don't know what it is or why it is, but he always tends to start a little bit slow. He builds up as the season goes on, and usually come around playoff time, that's when we see the best Wilhelmus Alvarado. But I think this year it's a little bit earlier.
His first season in the Intercounty Baseball League, we saw a fantastic version of Alvarado with that ERA right around that 2 mark. 11 strikeouts in that game against Hamilton. Boy, they needed a lot from him. He threw 117 pitches, 11 strikeouts, third most he's gotten a single game in his Intercounty Baseball League career. So I think that's a really good sign for Wilhelmus Alvarado. But just at the bit of a skid that the Toronto Maple Leafs have been on today. This win against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, if there's any team that it's difficult for to come and play another team, especially that's a long way away, you'd think it's the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Last time the Maple Leafs played Chatham-Kent, they got blown out in Chatham-Kent. They lost that game 14-5, but the Maple Leafs found themselves very short-handed, especially on the pitching side of things. You'd have to think that the tables will be turned a little bit in this one, and maybe this goes in the Maple Leafs' advantage.
Yeah, and I think you said it best. This is a really big game for the Leafs, not only because they're on a little bit of a slide. They had that big loss against Barrie and then the loss against Hamilton, but you want to get a little bit of a revenge against this Chatham-Kent Barnstormers team. They're playing a really good brand of baseball so far this year, but now the shoe, it's on the other foot if you want to think about it. Chatham-Kent, they have to take that long 3.5-hour drive down here to Toronto to play. The Leafs were on the opposite side of that. Maybe there's a little bit of exhaustion from the long bus ride. We don't know, but, the Leafs have been so short-handed lately. We saw what happened with Dan Mara. He had to get pulled from the game early. Marcus Connect has been away from the team. Jordan Castaldo, he was away from the team last week, and he returned back in Hamilton. But they've been very short-staffed. They haven't had their full team, and really we haven't been able to see that full product for about a week or so now. And it'll be very interesting to see now that you have possibly some guys returning. Jordan Castaldo's back manning first base. The pitching staff, it looks like they're getting a little bit better. It should be a very big game, and I think the Leafs know that it's a very important one.
Big one coming up here at Christie Pitts on a Sunday afternoon.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Well, back here at Dominico Field, and the Toronto Maple Leafs looking to kind of get off the schneid a little bit here. They had a tough stretch of games. Now they're playing the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and as we talked about just a minute ago, never easy driving so far. Maybe some bus legs for the Barnstormers. That was certainly the case for the Toronto Maple Leafs when they're out there in Chatham-Kent. But, Toronto, they don't want to fall 2 games below 500. That's never something you want to do at any point in the season. And I think we're far enough in that the Toronto Maple Leafs, they want to get over that 500 mark and just go. But it would start with a win here today.
Yeah, and, they caught a lot of unfortunate luck early on in the season. Some players going down with injuries. But today, we talked about it earlier, this is a big moment for them. They got a big game against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and they got to come out hot.
I mean, maybe we should go to Marcus Connect then, because he's one of the guys that's back in the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And boy, has he ever had an impact on the team this season. I mean, coming into this game, he's riding a streak of home runs 4 games in a row where he's hit a home run. He's got 6 on the year. You can just see the OPS numbers that he's put up this season, the batting average. He is one of the best players in the Intercounty Baseball League. And the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers saw that last time out. Although it was a loss for the Maple Leafs, Marcus Connect hit one of those home runs. He's got a lot of power in his bat. Good Marcus Connect probably means a win today for the Leafs.
Yeah, and it's nice to see him finally back in the lineup. Obviously, he was away from the team for a little bit with an injury, but he's come back now. And when he's in the lineup, he makes an impact with his bat. We've seen it over the last stretch he had. Like you mentioned, his numbers, well, the OPS sits at 1,200 over 1,200. He is absolutely seeing the ball phenomenally so far, and it should be nice to see him back in the lineup.
Everyone on the Toronto Maple Leafs is batting in runs right now. Marcus Connect, one of the best in the Intercounty Baseball League at that. But Rando Moreno, who's been hitting in the 3 spot for the Toronto Maple Leafs, he's right up there as well. It's been such a great 1-2 punch with Rando Moreno and John Javier for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then Marcus Connect, who's going to be behind them. That middle of the lineup, the 2-3 middle of the lineup, that is going to be a really dangerous part of the lineup for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers to face, and Mizuki Akazuka to do that as well.
Yeah, and it's just been a dangerous, like you said, top 2, but also top 3, because you have in front of them Dos Santos getting on base, and then they're just driving in the run every single time. Like you mentioned, they are both just up there with the RBIs. 19 for Connect, 17 for Moreno, and the third guy that I mentioned, Dos Santos, he's scored 20 times already in the year, and he just gets on base for them. Rando Moreno, he has been red hot, seeing the ball extremely well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that continue today.
One of the reasons I'm excited to watch this game today is because Josh Berenbaum is going to get a start at home, and I feel like he's been a bit of a warrior for this Maple Leafs team this season. I mean, the numbers aren't pristine right now, but man, he's had to do a job every time he goes out there. In fact, that was the job he had to do against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers in that loss in Chatham-Kent. Look, the 14 runs did not come off him. He gave the Toronto Maple Leafs a really good chance to win that game in the Barnstormers. The bullpen later on that ended up giving up the runs. And then on the other side, Mizuki Akatsuka, he has also pitched a lot of innings, as is Josh Berenbaum. He's been asked to go many pitches deep into games. In fact, listen to this, Zach. Every single game that Akatsuka has pitched this season, he's gone 7 innings. It's just a matter of how those starts have gone. He's been 1 on, 1 off throughout the season. He's got 4 starts this year. The last one was an on start against Brantford, so Maple Leafs hoping that pattern stays intact today.
Yeah, I mean, he has an arm. I don't know what else you can really say about it. He's able to go to distance, whether it be a tough game or a great game. It's 7 innings. You know you're going to get out of him. And then for the side of Berenbaum, I really don't think his numbers dictate how well he's actually pitched this season. The ERA is a little bit inflated at 5.40, but the strikeout to walk ratio is really good. 22 strikeouts to 12 walks. And I think more so, if he just keeps missing the bats like he's been doing, he's going to have another good day here today.
Yeah, Josh Berenbaum was pretty good in that game against Chatham-Kent, and I think he would have shut them down had he had a feel for that breaking ball early on. That was a pitch that he was having a little bit of trouble getting over for strikes, and then midway through that start, at about the 50 pitch mark in that start in Chatham-Kent, he found that breaking ball. If he can do that, he's going to have an effective start against the Barnstormers.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're able to have 2 pitchers that are working on one day, you're going to have a really good day on the mound. If you can command that fastball, if you're able to break that breaking ball in the outside half or tie up hitters, it's all about how you tunnel your pitches, and it's all about how you sequence them. And if he has a feel for both pitches, it's going to be a really good day for Berenbaum.
Yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs today coming off a game against the Hamilton Cardinals that, you know, I feel like they wanted to have that one back. They went up against Owen Boone, who's kind of the Friday night starter for the Hamilton Cardinals, and that sucks if you're playing them on a Friday night because no one wants to face Owen Boone. And that's what happened to the Toronto Maple Leafs when they were playing out there in Hamilton. Every single game this season, the Maple Leafs have been able to score at least 4 runs. They've had 14, 15 runs. They've had lots of those games as well. But, you know, Owen Boone shut them down. But, like, the big thing was Mohandas Alvarado. He got through a fantastic start. As I mentioned before, 11 strikeouts, that's the 3rd most he's ever had in a start in the Intercounty Baseball League. And I think that a lot of people are looking at that start and saying that that's a positive sign for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and we mentioned it earlier that Mohandas Alvarado, when he's on, he is one of the best pitchers that we can watch here at Christie Pitts. He's phenomenal, and very hoping that this is the right thing moving forward and the success continues for him.
Quick break for the national anthems, and we'll be right back. All right, joined now by Jordan Castaldo. Jordan, I know it was a bit of a tough loss for you guys last time out, but Johannes Alvarado in that game at Hamilton was really good. What can you say about just his performance last game?
Yeah, no, Willie was great. Filled up the strike zone. Battled, though, at the same time. I was struggling with command a little earlier in the game, but battled through it, had a really sharp outing. Really happy to see. It's exactly the start we needed. Just overall, unfortunately, we didn't get the result. They threw some tough arms at us, too. So you got to give credit where credit's due. But, the guys battled. Willie battled. He had a really strong outing and really encouraging moving forward.
Just with the way this last stretch of games has been, how important does it make this game today against Chatham-Kent?
Yeah, every game's important. It's a short season. We got to come ready to play. We got to be doing the little things right. And just bring our A game. There's no excuse. I think we got a couple days off here after this one. So no reason not to empty the tank today.
Jordan, I know you've been away for a couple of games, and I know you were hitting really well before the break. How are you feeling now at the plate? Have you kind of got back in the swing of things again?
Yeah, no, I'm sure every game will be better than the last, no doubt. Anytime you get a unplanned 2-week hiatus from playing, it's going to hurt your timing. It's going to hurt kind of your feel for the game. So, at this stage, though, we played enough beforehand that I don't feel like I'm far away. So, whether it's today or Wednesday night, whatever it may be for me, I'm about to turn the corner again.
All right, thanks, Jordan.
All right, no problem.
Jordan Castaldo is such a key player right in the middle of the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and hoping that he can get his timing back. But even though Jordan Castaldo has said, his timing hasn't been perfect after a couple weeks off, he has still found a way to make an impact on this team, as he always has in the Intercounty Baseball League. Josh Barenbaum getting the start today for Toronto, and he's going to want to get that breaking ball going early against this Chatham-Kent Barnstormer team, and if he does that, he's got a really good chance to be successful. Last pitched against this Barnstormer team out in Chatham-Kent. That was part of a 14-5 win for the Barnstormers, and the Maple Leafs looking for a little redemption today.
Yeah, redemption on home soil, and he's definitely going to want to just bounce back after that game up in Chatham-Kent. He has the stuff. He has, the arsenal to have a good outing today. It's just more so that command, like you mentioned.
Evan Morrison leading things off for the Barnstormers and rips one foul, jumping on that first pitch from Josh Barenbaum. Well, you want to talk about a guy who had a pretty good game against the Toronto Maple Leafs out in Chatham-Kent. Evan Morrison at a leadoff spot was 5 for 5 in that game against the Maple Leafs, so looking to keep his momentum going against Toronto.
Yeah, he's had a great start to his year, and in that, I believe it was after the game finished he's averaged in at 441.
Yeah, you're right. Pitch up high. He also hit a home run in that game as well. Count 1-1 on Morrison. Josh Barenbaum with an ERA 5.40 this season. This one's grounded up the middle, and that one skips through for a base hit. Evan Morrison has reached base safely 6 consecutive times against the Maple Leafs. So Morrison leading off, and then Spencer Marcus, who's batting now, one of the great players in the Intercounty Baseball League. Mitzi Fukuda is behind the plate. Sadler Goodwin at DH. Braxton Haggis in left at first base. It's Tim Wagner, Anthony Polowick at second, Robert Mackey at third, and Spencer Moore in the right fielder is batting ninth. Here's Spencer Marcus, and quickly Evan Morrison was off on the pitch, trying to get a jump on Josh Barenbaum. Spencer Marcus, the original, the OG Chatham-Kent Barnstormer, the first signing in their team's history.
And what a player he's been for Chatham-Kent. Last year, their inaugural season, they had a fantastic squad, and Spencer Marcus was really the catalyst to that.
Yeah. He is not just a good baseball player, but a really good athlete as well. And in fact, there was some question when he came to the Barnstormers before their inaugural season last year, it even started, whether he was going to pitch or not. There was even some questions. Yeah, I can throw some innings for you if you need. Count 1-1 now. Barenbaum's pitch is fouled off onto the hillside here at Christie Pitts. It's a beautiful afternoon at Christie Pitts today. Warm, a little over 20 degrees. Not very much wind, which we were a little bit worried about today. And not too sunny as well. There's like a couple clouds in the sky, so it's making making the visibility a little bit easier for the batters. The 1-2 just outside.
Looked like a great off-speed that caught that corner, but Birnbaum thought it as well. But, you know, if you're Birnbaum, don't get discouraged about that miss. That's a good miss.
Yeah.
I would prefer you living at that spot all game long than trying to change things up.
Quick throw to first base. Morrison dives back in. Maple Leafs infield is John Javier at third base, and then Randall Moreno, who's back in at shortstop, Spencer Ross at second, and Jordan Castaldo at first base. Well, Tapper goes back to the screen. Maple Leafs very happy to have Randall Moreno back after he's dealing with a little bit of an arm issue, back at shortstop, and then Spencer Ross, who filled in admirably at shortstop in a couple games for the Maple Leafs. He's going to move over to second base. The outfield, Ryan Dos Santos in left, Kaleo Shaw in center, and Marcus Connect back in right. Pretty standard Maple Leafs lineup today, especially with Justin Mara doing the catching once again. 3-2 here on Spencer Marcus. And Marcus lines this one to the outfield. That one's down, and it's going to split the outfielders and roll all the way towards the wall. Shaw picks it up in center. This is going to cash in Evan Morrison, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers lead 1-0.
Yep, Chatham-Kent wasted no time, and Morrison, he was gone on the pitch, so he was very, very quickly at second as soon as that ball was off the bat, and he did not stop. Head of steam all the way home.
Yeah, that's kind of Spencer Marcus in a nutshell right there. Works the count, waits for the pitch he wants, and then with a runner on first base, knowing that Josh Birnbaum is just going to want to groove a fastball in there, he timed it up perfectly and drilled it to the wall. Now it's the catcher, Mitsu Fukuda. Fukuda's had a great start to the season, hitting .368 on the year and swings through that first pitch from Birnbaum. The big thing with Fukuda, he does not strike out. He's only struck out twice all season. He just puts the ball in play consistently. There's a home run and 7 RBIs with that great batting average as well. Birnbaum's pitch misses low, and the count now 1-1. Sadler Goodwin, who's had a good start to the year for Chatham-Kent, he's on deck. He's batting .400. This one's popped up. This one's going to stay in fair territory, but too far for anyone to get to as it landed just past the Chatham-Kent bullpen. Boy, that's a good sign to see Marcus Connect back out there and right, isn't it?
Oh, lovely. And, there was a lot of worry, how much time is Marcus Connect going to miss? And just how unfortunate timing it was that he got hurt in the midst of just an absolute hot streak. But to be back, only a couple games missed, back in the lineup, he looks still really good. The swing in BP looked amazing.
The 1-2. Just misses outside. Yeah, Marcus Connect got hit in the face with a foul ball outside of playing for the Maple Leafs. And it was at the time when he's on this great home run streak, and we were thinking, oh my goodness, how could things possibly get worse for the Maple Leafs right now? But he looks okay. He's got a little bruise around the eye. This one's lashed to the outfield. Connect comes over. It goes off his glove. That one's going to go to the wall. This is going to score another run for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Spencer Marcus crosses the plate, and it's 2-0 Chatham-Kent.
No, you talked about Fukuda and the bat-to-ball ability. Well, he does it right there. There's an off-speed on the outer half that he just sticks the bat out. And it looked like he got more than he was expecting to get, because that ball just kept carrying over to right field.
Yeah, that's Mitzi Fukuda for you right there. Just puts the ball in play. Doesn't care if he's pulling the ball, hitting it the other way. Put it in play and good things can happen. That one's going to go down as a double. That was a tough play for Marcus Connect, but I think if you ask Marcus Connect, he probably would have liked to make that catch. Sadler Goodwin hitting .400 on the season in 25 at-bats. Got a runner in scoring position once again. Now he hits one towards the Leafs bullpen in foul territory. Josh Birnbaum threw 102 pitches over the 5 innings that he had in his last start against the Barnstormers. The 1-1, well outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And again, it kind of looks early on like Birnbaum is fighting that off speed once again. And, you know, he's missed a couple times on close pitches, but it's been a good location. Just don't think you should get discouraged about those misses earlier on in the inning.
The 2-1 hit high in the air, and I mean sky high. Shaw coming over and calling for it. He's going to make the catch, and that's the first out. Sadler Goodwin just missed that baseball. That was way up there. Cleo Shaw commanding center field. He's quick out there in center. He's made some really good catches. Made an unbelievable diving catch on a sinking line drive straight towards him in that game against Hamilton.
Yeah, as you know, a junior call-up player, I mean, what an impact he's made filling in for that center field spot. That has just basically been a revolving door to start the year. Nobody has had a solidified spot in center field yet.
Barenbaum's last start against Chatham-Kent went kind of similar to this. Gave up the 3 runs in the first inning. Had a little bit of defense on the side of the Maple Leafs that could have helped him out of a couple innings as well. But he really settled down after that and gave his team a chance to win. The 0-1 to Braxton Haggith. And he hits this one towards center. Shaw closing the gap on this one again. Loses the hat, makes the catch. And that's out number 2.
Well, 2 catches and 2 hats lost there for Cleo Shaw.
Yeah, he runs so fast that the brim of that hat is generating a little bit of lift. And within about 4 steps, it's gone.
See him push it down a little bit more. Say, hey, I gotta make sure it's secured on the head. That's just a beautiful location right there on a breaking ball in the outside half by Barenbaum. That's the exact area he needs to live at.
The batter is Tim Wagner from Quebec, hitting .212 on the season. Wagner chops this one to third, fielded by Javier, whips the throw to first, in time for out number 3. So damage limited by the Toronto Maple Leafs after a string of hits to start the ball game. Josh Barenbaum settles down and gets 3 outs. It's 2-0 Chatham-Kent Barnstormers over Toronto.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Well, Chatham-Kent Barnstormers get a couple runs in the top half of the first inning. The Maple Leafs have a chance to respond. Ryan Dos Santos leading things off, facing Mizuki Akatsuka, one of the import pitchers out of Japan on this Chatham-Kent Barnstormer team. Akatsuka has an ERA of 4.82 on the season. Has had 4 up-and-down starts, all 7 innings apiece. Last time it was a good one against the Brantford Red Sox. Gave up 8 hits, but just 2 earned runs and struck out 9 over that stretch. All of his starts haven't been shut down, striking everyone out. Every team has managed to get a couple hits about them. It's just how well Akatsuka has limited the damage in each of his starts. First pitch from the lefty is in there for a strike.
And what feels like a very rare occurrence so far this year, but it's a lefty that the Maple Leafs will face. Something that happened so often last year.
Yeah, lefty with a little bit of a hitch in his delivery. Akatsuka, you can see that little kick and delay before he throws the ball to the plate. Quickly ahead, 0-2 on Ryan Dos Santos. Dos Santos takes just outside.
So apparently he's a switch pitcher.
Right, yeah.
No easy matchups here today.
Akatsuka gets his first strikeout on Dos Santos.
Third baseman, number 77, John Javier.
So now he'll face the righty and John Javier.
He did it so fast, I was trying to see him switch the glove and just didn't do it. Or he did it too quickly.
Javier gets into this one, high and deep to left and gone. John Javier continues to destroy the baseball for the Maple Leafs. It's 2-1.
Well, Javier saw that batting average drop around 450. He says, I got to get it back up after a slow weekend. What does he do? First pitch, way over that left field fence.
John Javier continues to be one of the best hitters in the Intercounty Baseball League this season. And how about that? Jump on the first pitch. John Javier hasn't walked, not even once this season, because if he gets his pitch, he puts it in play and hits it hard. It's usually down for a base hit. Javier this time got his pitch on the first pitch he saw of the ball game from Akatsuka. This is the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ryan Dos Santos, John Javier, Jordan Castaldo, 1, 2, 3, and then Rando Moreno and Marcus Connect, who have been RBI machines behind them. After that, Justin Mara, Spencer Ross, Kaleo Shaw, and then Connor Lewis for the Maple Leafs.
I've been trying to figure out whose swing that John Javier's looks like. He kind of has that big bat finish like Javier Baez. I was thinking about it, and it's the way he finishes that swing, it is very Baez-like.
Castaldo ahead in the count, the 2-0. Inside 3-0. Speaking of Major League Baseball players, I was looking at Rando Moreno's bat today. He is using one of Eloy Jimenez's old bats.
Oh.
It's the one he selected today. How about that?
What was the other bat that he broke in Hamilton there? You were telling me about earlier.
Yeah, well, oh, that was the Reds guy.
Pretty
Ellie De La Cruz. Damn it. God damn it. Slipped my mind.
Pretty good shortstop, you know?
Yeah, I broke that bat off of Fernando Rodney.
I'm very curious, since you told me about the Ellie De La Cruz bat, now the Eloy Jimenez one. What is his bat collection like?
I don't know.
I'm very curious.
He's got some good connections. When you play AAA baseball, you make some of those good connections, though. That's Rando Moreno. He's at the plate now facing Akatsuka after Jordan Castaldo walked. Moreno takes low.
So this is interesting to see Akatsuka pitching from the right side.
Yeah, so this is switch hitter versus switch pitcher. The 1-0, this one's fouled straight back. I think that the pitcher picks first.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pitcher picks first, and then the batter will pick accordingly. The 1-1, just outside 2-1. Now, I'm wondering if Akatsuka and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers might have done their homework, because I was asking Rando Moreno, and I said, what side do you like hitting from more? He said the right side rather than the left side. So we get to see him bat left-handed. Which would check out since all the power we've seen from him has been from the left side of the plate this season. But also, the Maple Leafs haven't faced very many lefties, so he hasn't got to turn around much. But it's a pretty good swing on that one, and the ball's fouled off.
Yeah, it's an interesting rule, that switch hitter versus switch pitcher rule, and really stems from I think the one at bat, Pat Venditti, where he just kept switching whatever helmet the hitter was grabbing.
2-2 to Moreno. Hits this one in the air to left. Well struck, but lots of room down the line there. And catch is made by Braxton Hegeth. That's going to bring Marcus Connect to the plate. Akatsuka will pitch righty to the righty Marcus Connect. Marcus Connect was away for a couple games, so Robert Mullen caught him in the home run race, but before he left, leading the Intercounty Baseball League with 6 home runs. Right up there in RBIs as well, and on a streak of 4 games in a row, leaving the yard. Connect with a big cut at the first pitch, and Akatsuka definitely aware of that power as he went off speed first pitch.
Marcus Connect hits a lot of baseballs hard, but also has one of the best walk-up songs on the team.
Yeah, he changed his walk-up song the day the streak started, and it's stuck ever since. The 0-1 finds the zone as well. Marcus Connect down 0-2. Not only has Marcus Connect hit home runs in 4 straight games, he's got 5 home runs in those 4 games. 2 of them came in a game against the Welland Jackfish back on June 8th. Akatsuka's 0-2, swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt, and Marcus Connect is just going to head back to the dugout, although the catcher Mitzi Fukuda will make sure he goes all the way there. He's not psyching anyone out, and that will be the end of the inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But John Javier stays hot. He leaves the yard. It's 2-1, Chatham-Kent. Anthony Polowick leading things off for the Barnstormers, facing Josh Barenbaum in his second inning of work. Josh Barenbaum gave up 3 hits to start the game, and then settled in, pitched really well to get out of the first inning. Would love a nice quick inning here against the bottom of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers lineup. Polowick, Mackey, and Spencer Morin.
Yeah, it'd be big for him to go 3 up, 3 down here, especially with the damage that the top 3 did. But he retired the 4, 5, 6 hitters relatively quickly. 2 flyouts to center, then the ground ball to third.
0-2 on Anthony Polowick. He fouls it straight back. Polowick's hitting .227 on the season. That's in 22 at-bats. The 0-2. Polowick foul tips it. It skips off the glove of Justin Mara.
That was a good pitch by Barenbaum. Looks like he tried to drop it on off speed there, and Polowick just barely got a piece of it.
Another 0-2. Strike 3 called. Painted that breaking ball. And Josh Barenbaum strikes out Polowick.
Beautiful pitch right there by Barenbaum. Realizes that Polowick didn't see it out of the hand good enough the first time, so he goes right back to it and completely freezes him this time around.
Barenbaum had 8 strikeouts in his last start against the Barnstormers. That's his first one today. And here's the hero of last game for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, Robert Mackey. His home run ended up winning the ball game against the Hamilton Cardinals. Mackey takes a check swing and went well across the hitting plane, so the count now 1-1. Robert Mackey swings through another one, and the count's now 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Josh Barenbaum working quickly and looking good. 2 straight strikeouts.
And that was just really good sequencing. He started the at-bat off with 2 high fastballs, 1 inside, 1 outside. Got Mackey to chase, even count of 1-1. Then he went with 2 back-to-back breaking balls, and the same thing. It went 2-2 count, and just blows the fastball right by him. Just a really good mix of pitches right there, and a really good understanding of your arsenal by Barenbaum.
Well, Spencer Morin is in the 9 spot today, but is almost like a second leadoff hitter because he's been hitting really well this season as he fouls the ball off. In that game against Hamilton, the team had 7 hits. Morin had 2 of them. He was 2 for 3. Spencer Morin also has not struck out in the last 2 games as well. The 0-2 squaring to bunt and taking low and in. Barenbaum starting to get a good feel for that breaking ball. The 1-2 swung on and missed.
Again, a really good mix out of Barenbaum here to the number 9 hitter. But this is right here. You gotta have a put-away pitch.
He just got a piece of it at home plate. Evan Morrison, who's hitting .415 on the season, is on deck. He's coming for John Javier and the batting average leaders in the Intercounty Baseball League. Take away the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's not .417 though. This ball hits the bat, so Spencer Morin was kind of leaning into that, and I think it just hit the bat. I think if it ended up hitting him on the elbow guard, the home plate umpire would have to call something. He totally leaned into it, but it skipped right off the edge of his bat.
So he's breaking a lot of stuff into him here. Would want to see him go away.
Chopped on the ground to first. Fielded by Jordan Castaldo. He sprints over to first base to record the out, and hey, there's the quick 1-2-3 inning that we were looking for. Josh Barenbaum shuts down the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers in the second. We head to the bottom of the half, and the Toronto Maple Leafs coming up. Well, back here at Dominico Field, and Justin Mara leading things off against Mizuki Akatsuka. Switch pitcher for Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Mara gets hit with the first pitch. He'll head down to first base. That'll work for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Down by 1, looking to tie it up. Spencer Ross coming up with a runner aboard.
And Spencer Ross, he's been a really, really good player for the Leafs so far this year. Plays any position that they ask him to. He's played all over the infield. But also, when he was batting in the 9-hole, he's moved up now. He's batting in the 9-hole. It felt like what you said about Chatham's team. It's a second leadoff hitter late in games because he just had such a good ability to put the bat to the ball.
Yeah, similar to Spencer Morin there, who's batting in the 9 spot. First pitch to Ross. Takes a strike. Spencer Ross, 24 years old, from Mississauga, Ontario. Plays baseball with the University of Toronto Varsity Blues just down the street here from Christie Pitts. The 0-1. Check swing, no swing, says the first base umpire. Spencer Ross has been a really good player in the Intercounty Baseball League when he's been here. Last season with Kitchener, hit .310 and 100 at-bats in the season. The 1-1 to Ross. He slashes this one towards the outfield. It's dropping, but not before. The catch is made by Marin out there in right field.
That's a good piece of hitting, but you just got way too much of it. It was just on a line right to Morin.
Center fielder number 15.
Well, this is one of the junior players on the Maple Leafs that's really impressed the coaching staff for Toronto. He's had some just brilliant defensive plays in the outfield, and he's also brought it with the bat as well. He's had 8 at-bats, 3 hits, a .375 batting average. Kaleo Shaw takes a first pitch strike.
Yeah, Kaleo Shaw, what a good story it's been so far. 3 games started, .375 average. He's really doing a good job at the plate filling in here for the Maple Leafs.
Shaw hits this one high in the air. Does it have enough? Yes, it does! Kaleo Shaw, his first Intercounty Baseball League home run, and it's 3-2.
What a swing by Shaw. Have a run on a hot streak right now. First IBL home run. That's gotta feel good for the young gun in center field. Comes in today batting .375, and he gets a hold of one that just clears that left field wall. Again, it's not that windy today at Dominico Field. That'll bring up Connor Lewis here, batting in the 9-hole, designated hitter for on the day. Lewis squares around, pulls it back, but gets called strike 1.
Yeah, we've seen the defense from Kaleo Shaw. Now we see the power from Kaleo Shaw. It's another reason why they're very, very big on a lot of their young junior players this year. We saw it with Spencer McInnes hitting his first home run just a few weeks ago.
Peel down to first, and he did not go around. But yeah, Connor Lewis started the year off with the team. He got not cut, but it was I believe it was an injury that had him away for a couple of weeks. Now he's back, filling in with a good role. Swings this through the hole on the left side. Takes a wicked Christie Pitts up. Connor Lewis has himself a single.
Yeah, that was getting through the left side regardless. His first hit since rejoining the club. He had 1 at-bat last game at Christie Pitts, pinch hitting in that Wednesday game against Barrie. He's back, and that's looking like the swing that we saw a lot near the end of last year when he was putting all that power, just ripping it to left field. He has a ton of power in that bat. Just he's got to make contact, and he does it right there.
Yeah, that's just a really good swing by Connor Lewis. Just goes around and power through that left side. Brings up Dos Santos, who Struck out swing his last time up. You watch a strike one go by here. Swung fouled off to the left side, 0-2 to the Maple Leafs leadoff man.
Another 0-2 count on Ryan Dos Santos and takes low and away.
He's no stranger to these. He's battled back so many times just this year from 0-2 counts to work a walk or get a base hit.
The 1-2. Fouled straight back. Big cut from Ryan Dos Santos. I think Ryan Dos Santos was a bit frustrated with how last game went with the 3 strikeouts against the Hamilton Cardinals, but he pretty much single-handedly generated the only run of the ball game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was in the later innings, Wilhelmus Alvarado just got a big strikeout to get out of an inning, and Ryan Dos Santos laid down a perfect bunt that he just beat out at first base. He's going to have to beat this one out as well. Big high hop to second, back to first, not in time. A fielder's choice for Ryan Dos Santos, but in that game against Hamilton, he got his way to second base after getting on base at first, and then a single into the outfield. He just came flying around third base, and his sprint speed is just so impressive and so lethal, especially in the Intercounty Baseball League, and scored the only run for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and I asked him about that, and he said, that's the fastest I've run in a couple of years. He was getting around those bases flying.
Oh, he had to get back quickly there. Just barely did on the throw over to first base.
He is a threat to steal. Does a very good job stealing bases. John Javier back up to bat. Had that big time home run. This one bounced and foul ball called. And interesting play by the catcher there. Thought, Fukuda would let that go fair, but gets it in foul territory. So John Javier has another life here.
It didn't work, but he angled his body very well. He came around the ball, angled towards first base to come back into fair territory, trying to scoop it up and throw. It's not a bad play at all, knowing who's running, coming into the right-handed batter's box. You have an extra step and a half or so compared to where a lefty would be coming from. It's a heads-up play by Fukuda, even though it didn't work.
Here's the pitch. Javier, another big-time swing. Misses for strike 2. And I mentioned it after his home run. He has that huge after swing, just like Javier Baez. And, well, we've known Javier Baez over his career in the MLB. If he gets a hold of one, he gets a hold of one. And that's exactly what's happening with John Javier to start the season.
It's not a bad comparison. Javier just striking out a little bit less.
Inside, and Fukuda thought about snap throwing that down to first, but Dos Santos scurries on back.
Fukuda has turned into one heck of a catcher for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. We've seen the offense this year. He's always been great defensively, great throwing guys out. Threw out 3 base runners yesterday against the Hamilton Cardinals, and he's right back behind the dish today.
Atkinsuka with the delivery. Javier, ground ball to shortstop, takes a hop, the flip over to second in time. That will retire the side, but Kaleo Shaw, his first IBL home run, has put the Maple Leafs up 3-2, headed to the 3rd inning.
Well, the big swing last inning. Kaleo Shaw, his first Intercounty Baseball League home run, just forcing that coaching staff to keep him in the lineup, and he's given the Maple Leafs the lead. And that's what you want to do after your pitcher, Josh Berenbaum, gives you a shutdown inning last time out.
Oh, that was a huge inning, really. And it's baseball, it's a big momentum game, right? You look at what Berenbaum was able to do in that bottom half, or excuse me, that top half of the second, and then Kaleo Shaw comes up, hits a 2-run home run, and you're up now. All the momentum is back on your side.
Yeah, here's the only problem for the Maple Leafs is this is the part of the order that hurt them last time up. Evan Morrison, who's been tearing the cover off the baseball, is going to continue to do so. A line drive, base hit to center field, and he's aboard once again.
Yeah, Morrison is just swinging the bat extremely well. Back-to-back singles here.
7 for 7 against the Maple Leafs this season is Evan Morrison.
That streak can't continue, right?
I guess we'll see next at bat. He went on the first pitch last time. Not this time. Pitch high. Berenbaum may have had that in the back of his mind as he delivered that fastball above the zone.
Now with Berenbaum here, this is an important at bat because if you get to a full count once again to Spencer Marcus, Morrison is probably taken off once more. We saw him do it earlier, and that's how they cashed in that first run. It was a laser into the left center gap.
Yeah, and the first pitch to Spencer Marcus, the one that Evan Morrison was going on before, he probably would have stole second base as well. He had a great jump, but the ball was fouled off by Marcus. So he clearly had the timing of Berenbaum down right away. Spencer Marcus hitting .358 on the season. He's got 11 RBIs now. The 2-1 pitch. Popped foul. That one's behind home plate. So Berenbaum has found himself in a 2-2 count. It was the 3-2 count that he hit the double on in his last at-bat in the top of the first. Morrison, the runner over at first base. Marcus puts one into the outfield once again, this time a base hit. Ryan Dos Santos comes in and cuts it off quickly, whips a throw back to the infield, and Spencer Marcus is 2 for 2.
And last time it was these two in the batting order, 1 and 2, that were hitting the ball extremely hard. This time it's 2 flared singles into the right, or excuse me, into center and left field.
Well, Mitzi Fukuda went the other way in his last at bat, hit a ball hard that went off the glove of Marcus Connect. Not an error though in the outfield, but definitely a play that Connect will want to have back. They scored it a double for Mitzi Fukuda. It drove in a run. Fukuda takes a strike. The top of the lineup has been really good for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. That's been their strength this year. Here's the 0-1. This one's fouled off. I guess you could say pitching has been their strength as well. They've just found some real diamonds in the rough in terms of their starting rotation. Suzuki Akatsuka is one of them. No one really knew what was going to go on with him coming in as a switch pitcher in the Intercounty Baseball League, and it's worked out quite well with him. Another flare towards the outfield, but Marcus Connect is going to come over and make the catch. Throw back to the infield, and the lead runner, Evan Morrison, advances to third. So runners on the corners here. A bit of a sticky situation now for Josh Berenbaum with the tying run just 90 feet away.
And it doesn't get easier with Sadler Goodwin, who's been also tearing the cover off the baseball to start the year, coming up to bat.
First pitch to Goodwin. Fouled off.
Wow.
Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have clearly realized that Josh Berenbaum is not afraid to pound the strike zone. That's what he's been doing in this outing. 37 strikes, 14 balls. And they're swinging the bats. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Actually a foul tip into the glove of Justin Mara.
How big would a strikeout be here for Barenbaum?
That would be massive. The only thing better, a sharply hit ground ball, but Sadler Goodwin can really get out of the box if it's hit on the ground. The 0-2. Oh, and it just misses outside.
Looked like a really good off speed, just couldn't find that corner.
Braxton Haggith, the on-deck batter. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Barenbaum does get the strikeout. It's his third of the day. And that's a big one here in the top of the third.
That's just a beautiful pitch. You see what he was able to do. He goes back to the breaking ball. This time comes over the top for what looked like the 12-6 and just drops that string.
Well, Braxton Haggith came to the Intercounty Baseball League last year with a pretty good resume as he fouls the first pitch off. Played in the WCBL with the Swift Current 57s and also played some Division II baseball at Minnesota State. This season, though, just hitting .211 on the year. And Josh Barenbaum trying to record this out. Throw down to second base and plenty of time. Justin Mara not afraid to throw through, and it helps the Maple Leafs get out of the inning. Boy, that runner 90 feet away looked really dangerous, but the great defense of Justin Mara gets him out of it. It's the Maple Leafs who lead by 1.
Now batting the first baseman, number 5, Jordan Castaldo.
Jordan Castaldo comes up to the plate here for his second at-bat of the game. He reached via the walk last time. It was stranded on first. Akinsuka finds the corner on the outside there for strike 1.
It's interesting. We saw it with Moreno, him throwing righty to a lefty. Moreno, as Rando's a switch hitter, but Castaldo, a pure lefty, up there at the dish, and Akatsuka is still tossing from the right side. So I wonder if he just feels more comfortable against some of these Leafs hitters, locating his off-speed pitches from the right side.
Yeah, and with the arsenal that Akinsuka has, you know, a lot of the stuff can run away from you as a lefty. and makes it a little bit difficult to hit. If you're not trying to take it the other way, it's going to be a very hard job to hit that ball in the outside half. Watches that one in the dirt, so count evens up here 2-2 on Castaldo. And coming into the day, Castaldo only 7 games played, but still batting .370 on the year. 10 hits, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. Had the home run that propelled him into that 100 career IBL home run club. Here's the pitch, low inside, full count.
Still draws a ton of walks, which is a theme that you've heard us speak about over and over again on these Leafs broadcasts. Toronto hitters just the most patient in the league statistically so far with the amount of walks they've drawn. Castaldo right up there with the likes of Dos Santos and Moreno and all these guys who are very patient at the plate.
Full count pitch and right back up the middle for Castaldo. So he gets his first base hit of the day, and the Maple Leafs have their first base runner of the 3rd inning.
There hasn't been a ton of swing and miss in Akatsuka's game so far. We've seen him make a lot of contact, obviously the 2 home runs. Both righties pulling the ball to left center and pure left field. And once again, Moreno now coming up. Akatsuka will stay tossed from the right-hand side.
Moreno had a big fly ball out to left field his last time up. As you watch a strike one, the outside half go by.
It'd be interesting to learn the numbers of how many pitches per start Akatsuka averages from both sides of the rubber. It's not an easily found stat if that information is even available. But you got to think when it comes to the longevity of a pitcher in the game, obviously for a guy like Berenbaum, who only has one arm he can throw the ball with, Akatsuka has a little bit longer of a leash if he's swapping back and forth.
This one roped into right field, and it's going to be caught. Castaldo was going hard around second. He'll get doubled up. What a catch out in right field by Spencer Morin. Right up against that right field wall. Went up a little bit, makes the grab, and quickly the Leafs have 2 outs.
Put a good swing on the ball there. I have no idea why Castaldo kept running unless he was really convinced that ball was going to go off the fence and right, and maybe he was. I don't think he was going on the pitch. I mean, it's Jordan Castaldo. We don't see that happen very much at all. But that ball died right on where the warning track would be if we had one.
So quickly, 2 outs here, and it's going to be Marcus Connect coming up to bat after the line-out double play.
Yeah, it's not something you see very much in the IBL these days. But it's how teams can run themselves out of innings.
Connect a big swing at that slow breaking ball.
We've seen it a couple times now, and going back to Connect's first at bat as well, him swinging over the top of that Akatsuka curveball.
Akatsuka he knows that Connect is a very good fastball hitter. I mean, look at the last stretch of games that he's had. This is another breaking ball inside, this time low away. 2-1 goes the count.
We haven't seen Akatsuka pitch from the left side in about an inning and a half now.
Yeah, wondering if it is a comfort thing. Maybe he's gained himself a rhythm here pitching from the right side. As that's a fastball, but it misses high. So Connect is in a very friendly batter's count here, 3-1.
And we'll see with Justin Mara on deck, another lefty for the Leafs today. We'll see if he stays from the right side. It's just something we don't see all that often. We saw it with Hamilton when he was pitching for the Cardinals last season a few times here at Christie Pitts.
Here's the full count pitch. This is hammered left center field and caught. didn't get enough of it, so a wonky 3 up, 3 down, but Chatham-Kent, they get out of it. Leafs still winning 3-2 as we head to the 4th inning here at Dominico Field.
Number 23, Braxton Hagan.
Back here at Dominico Field, and Braxton Hagath lays down a bunt fielded by Barenbaum. Whip to first. Great play. In time to record the out. Josh Barenbaum had to really gun that ball over to the first base, and he got it there just in time.
We gotta love seeing PFPs, pitcher fielding plays, and Barenbaum just completely executed that one to perfection.
Braxton Hagath was at the plate when the top of the 3rd inning ended, but Justin Mara threw a runner out at second base, and that's how the top of the 3rd inning was retired for the Maple Leafs. So he came to the plate to lead off the top of the 4th, the runner getting thrown out, and Josh Barenbaum makes a great play. Now with 1 away, he gets Wagner to swing and miss.
Really liking how Barenbaum is just mixing his pitches today.
The 0-2 in the dirt.
What we've seen, it looks like he has that over-the-top breaking ball, but he also has the one that goes horizontally in the slider. And he's mixing those two in amazingly with his fastball, just commanding really all 4 quadrants of the zone.
The 1-2 in the dirt, skips to the backstop. Josh Barenbaum spent 6 seasons with Fraser Valley University, and he was fantastic out there. Here's a chopper through the middle, and Wagner is aboard with a base hit.
Yeah, Tim Wagner Jr., he hit a hard ground ball to John Javier in his first at-bat. This time it's a ripper right back up the middle.
Second baseman number 4, Anthony Polowick.
Brings Anthony Polowick to the plate. First pitch strike.
Polowick was sat down relatively quick his last time up. He was a victim of the beginning of the 3 up, 3 down inning that Barenbaum posted back in the 2nd.
Here's the 1-1. Right on the outside corner, strike 2.
Yeah, beautiful fastball location there, and Polowick just not agreeing with it at all. You can see him shake his head after it.
Tim Wagner over there at first base. Polowick lines it up the middle for a base hit, just past 2 outstretched gloves. One of them Josh Berenbaum, the other Rando Moreno at short. And there's 2 aboard here in the top of the 4th, and here comes Robert Mackey.
Yeah, and that's just a tough play for the right-handed pitcher because the way you fall off the mound, you're falling towards first base, and that one was just ripped up the middle, but on the third base side, and really no play Berenbaum could have made.
Mackey hits this one high in the air, but not deep. It's Dos Santos who comes over and calls off Shaw. He makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
If you ever wonder if they communicate out there in the outfield, well, they do. You can hear Dos Santos all the way up here just yelling, ball, ball, ball.
Yeah, you know, him and Kaleo Shaw had a bit of a miscommunication in the outfield that didn't cost the Maple Leafs anything. It was Shaw who actually ended up coming over and making the catch. That was in the game against the Hamilton Cardinals. So kind of interesting to see there. They've obviously talked to each other and kind of worked out whose baseball that's going to be. This time it went smoothly on almost the exact same play that we saw in in Hamilton.
Kickoff move to second there.
What a move.
That's the A move right there by Berenbaum. Really fooling the runner there, Wagner Jr.
Josh Berenbaum really wanted to throw that baseball, but there was no one there, so he just looped it over.
There was a little bit of a mix-up in the signs, I'm assuming, with Berenbaum and Moreno. And the way that Berenbaum spun, he had to throw it over, or
Yes.
it would have been the balk.
Yep.
So, wisely just soft tosses it over there. Nothing against that in the rules.
The 0-1, foul tipped. Yeah, if you turn the other way and pull your foot off the rubber, then you can kind of do whatever you want, because in that sense, it's the pitcher disengaging from the runner, or from the rubber, so he's not in a position to throw the pitch anymore. But if you turn with your front leg up and turn back to second base, you're in a position to either, you got to throw it somewhere. This ball's hammered down the line, but way foul. Morin got home run distance on that one, but well into foul territory.
He had Morin in the 9 spot. 358 average. I mean, he's just seen the ball extremely well, and like you mentioned, he is just basically a second leadoff hitter to have for this team, and just a guy that is great in situations like this. Flip the order back with guys on base.
The 1-2, up and away. Berenbaum missed with that breaking ball.
Well, Evan Morrison patiently waiting on deck. If you're Berenbaum, you got to have it in the back of your mind how good Morrison has been against the Maple Leafs. And this is the guy you need to attack. You need to get this out. Leave that big hitter on deck.
2-2, up high. Berenbaum might have been reaching back for a little extra there.
Yeah, it looked like, again, he tried to go to the high fastball to get Morin to chase, but he was not biting at it whatsoever.
Big 3-2 pitch. Runners on the move. Pitch inside and it hit him. The top of the order will come to the plate in the top of the 4th inning for Chatham-Kent.
And this is where things could possibly get scary, and a wise move by head coach Rob Butler to go talk to his young starter out there. Just settle him down and just let him know, say, hey, you know, if one gets put in play, your defense has your back. Up to this point, he's been throwing a phenomenal game, really doing a good job mixing and keeping these hitters off balance. Just a couple of at-bats that haven't gone his way.
Yeah, just to kind of highlight the importance of this moment right now, the Maple Leafs need to win this game today. This might be a must-win game for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You using the token?
I'm using the must-win token on this game against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. It's been a tough stretch, not just because they've lost a bunch of ball games, but they have they've only had one day off in the last like week and a half. It's been a brutal stretch of games. They've got tired arms. You know, they had some problems with availability. When they came to Chatham-Kent, they were a bit short-handed. A couple guys couldn't get off work, things like that. So they've had external factors that have kind of been affecting the team a little bit. And now they've lost 2 games in a row once again, and they need a win here against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And who are they facing? The guy who has 7 hits in a row against the Maple Leafs, and Evan Morrison.
Batting 1,000. Evan Morrison, and you see on the screen there, Drew Howard warming up in the bullpen.
The 0-1. Chopped foul. I mean, you look at the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, look, they've had a great stretch of games, but this is the game that the Maple Leafs want to win. They don't really care how well Chatham-Kent has done in the past. They lost to them last time out in a game that they thought they could have won. As this one's chopped towards first, Castaldo makes the play, sprints over to first in time to get the out. Great defensive play at first base by Jordan Castaldo, and it gets the Maple Leafs out of the inning. Whew. Crisis averted for the Maple Leafs and Josh Berenbaum as they continue to lead by 1. Back here at Dominico Field, Justin Mara leading things off for the Maple Leafs. Akatsuka back on the mound for his 4th inning of work, and Justin Mara hits this one in the air, high, deep, right field, and caught in front of the wall. Oh boy, Justin Mara just missed that one, but that's another good catch from Spencer Morin up against the wall.
Morin stealing another one away. I mean, he's having a fantastic day over in right field. Big moments, really. Some big moments that could have really changed the tide of this game.
Spencer Ross comes to the plate for the Maple Leafs. First pitch at the knees for strike 1. Ross 0 for 1 on the day. The 0-1. Oh, slow breaker there from Akatsuka finds the zone.
Yeah, pulled the string and nice pitch.
Here's the 0-2. Strike 3 called at the knees. Akatsuka sits down Ross. Well, here comes Kaleo Shaw in his last at-bat. Hit his first Intercounty Baseball League home run, and that's the difference right now. Gave the Maple Leafs the lead from down 1. They're up 3-2 here on Chatham-Kent. First pitch from Akatsuka. In there for strike 1. It was actually a solid point by Gus a little earlier on about Akatsuka. If you're a switch pitcher, like how many pitches can you throw? Because a lot of the fatigue is on your, well, it's not even fatigue, it's just the fact that your arm isn't built to throw 200 times in a row. But if you're using both arms, could you throw 200?
Probably. I mean, you saw he's gone consistently 7 innings every game.
Yeah.
Now it makes a lot more sense to me why he's gone 7 innings every game.
Yeah. One of those things that you don't really think about. No, I'm just going to point this out because I've noticed this a lot. Cleo Shaw's got to get some new Velcro on that
The hand protector.
It was always popping on in that last game against Hamilton a couple nights ago as well. The 1-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Akatsuka gets a couple strikeouts, including the guy that hit the home run off him in his last at-bat. The Maple Leafs lead 3-2 over Chatham-Kent here at Dominico Field. Well, what a start it was for Wilhennis Alvarado and the Toronto Maple Leafs. This was a really promising sign. 11 strikeouts. He was just brilliant in that game against Hamilton.
Yeah, fantastic. And we mentioned it in the pregame that he is known for being a slow starter when it comes to the IBL. He did it in his first season. He did it last season. But once he finds that click, he starts rolling. And, you know, finally, it seems like he's able to get it a little bit earlier on in the season. And if he can maintain the success going forward, it's going to be huge for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, he was just so good in that game against Hamilton. Unfortunately for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they get the great start from Wilhennis Alvarado, but they lose the game because the other side, Owen Boone, ended up throwing 3 hits over the 6 innings that he went against the Maple Leafs. Spencer Marcus at the plate now, fouls that one off, so he's behind 0-2 on Josh Berenbaum. But, you know, he went 117 pitches, and he was going strong right till the end. He had some swagger out there on the mound. Like, there were a couple times you could tell he was walking back to the dugout, and he was feeling it. He knew he made a good pitch, and most of all, he had that breaking ball going. And it was sharp, it was moving a lot, and it looked really uncomfortable to be in the box against him.
Yeah, he is always such a fun pitcher to watch, but also just, you know, his ability just to dominate hitters with that breaking ball, it's something really spectacular to watch.
Strike 3 call. Josh Berenbaum starting to deal on the mound for the Maple Leafs as well.
And that's huge. Spencer Marcus just got ejected.
Oh boy, right away he turned right. So he obviously didn't like the call. Turned around, said something to the home plate umpire, and he just threw him out right away.
Yeah, it looked like he said something about the pitch being low. Umpire didn't waste any time and just tossed him immediately.
I mean, you know, a couple games ago we saw Brandon Deans get thrown into the game right away for the Guelph Royals. That was a pretty quick ejection. But that ejection was so impactful because it was the starting pitcher and it was in the first inning. Well, we're halfway through this ball game. That's the best player on the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. He's already driven in a run. He was 2 for 2 on the day before that. And, you know, maybe not as impactful as if it was your starting pitcher early in the game, but that's right there with an extremely impactful toss by the home plate umpire. So they're going to get this all sorted out now, but Spencer Marcus is out of the ball game.
That is a very big loss for the Barnstormers.
Like, just think about late in this game, let's say it's a one-run game, 8th inning, 9th inning. Evan Morrison does what he keeps doing. He gets on base. Maybe he's on second base. Now you're not going to have Spencer Marcus there to try and drive him in.
Yeah.
The 0-2, line to center, Shaw coming in, and he plays it on a hop, but he does keep it in front of him. That was big. Hold on a second. Big turn around first base by Fukuda. Thought about going 2 there, but put the brakes on. He was wondering if Cleo Shaw was going to go for his hat or the ball first.
2 things hit the ground at the same time. It was the hat and the ball.
I love it. That's a staple out there in the outfield now. Lose the hat, make a great play. Fukuda was running, and then he put the brakes on because he got such a good jump he was too early. He was afraid he was going to get picked off at first base. Meanwhile, the ball fouled off by Goodwin and sends a few fans scattering on the hillside. Check swing. And that's a swing, says the home plate umpire. 0-2. Barenbaum continuing to get ahead of hitters.
86 pitches so far by Barenbaum through 4 1/3.
Yep. Swing and a miss. Barenbaum gets another strikeout. Drew Howard, who started a couple games on Sundays here at Christie Pitts, is getting loose in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. Barenbaum went 102 pitches in his last outing. Braxton Haggith at the dish. First pitch, outside, ball 1.
How about the job that Barenbaum has done here today? I mean, you know, you start the game off with a leadoff hit by Evan Morrison. Spencer Marcus hits a rocket double. And then Fukuda hits a double to the right field side, and you're already down 2-0 without an out. He has settled back down beautifully. He has really limited base runners, and he's pitching very, very well. The sequencing, the mix, and just location has been on point so far today.
Well, now he's down 3-0 on Braxton Haggith. Pitch in there for a strike, 3-1.
Low outside fastball, gets it around.
I got the sense that Braxton Haggith was not taking all the way there. He looked like he was ready to swing the bat. See if he's aggressive again on the 3-1 pitch. He is, and he lines it into the outfield for a base hit. That one falls in front of Ryan Dos Santos. Mitzi Fukuda digging for third. Here's the throw, not in time. Good throw from Dos Santos, but it didn't take a particularly friendly hop on the dirt. Either way, Mitzi Fukuda was probably in there safely.
That's one thing this outfield group for the Maple Leafs have. Every single one of them has a cannon for an arm. That play, yes, the bounce wasn't friendly, but again, just right on target.
Well, this was the situation that the Barnstormers had a couple innings ago. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. And the runner at first base, I think, kind of just assumed that Justin Morrow wouldn't throw through with 2 outs in the inning. You just kind of focused on the batter. Well, he did, and he threw the runner out at second base, and that's what ended the inning. So Tim Wagner, who's 1 for 2 at the plate, and takes strike 1. Another big spot here for Josh Berenbaum. Might be the batter that defines the outing for Josh Berenbaum. The 0-1, Wagner hits it in the air. This is a fly ball to right, medium depth. Connect comes in and makes the catch, and Josh Berenbaum gets through another scoreless inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He has had a fantastic start today at Christie Pitts. We'll take a quick break and be right back. It's the Maple Leafs who lead 3-2.
Designated hitter number 26, Connor Lewis.
Well, Josh Berenbaum has had a great start for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We think that was probably his last inning as he's heading back down to the bullpen. But on the other side of things, Mizuki Akatsuka has been almost as good. 3 earned runs over the 4 innings. The only real blemish, the 2-run home run to Kaleo Shaw. Other than that, he's pretty much shut down the Maple Leafs. Just 4 hits they have today. It'll probably be Drew Howard next for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
We presume.
Akatsuka will throw pitch number 60 here to Connor Lewis. And it's hit in the air to left. But it's not going to have enough to get by the outfielder Braxton Hageth, and that's out number 1. Connor Lewis must have got that ball off the end of the bat because put a pretty good swing on it. He just missed that one.
Left fielder number 8, Ryan Dos Santos.
Ryan Dos Santos comes to the plate. He gets his 3rd look at Akatsuka. Swings and misses. Pitchers have figured out the scouting report on Ryan Dos Santos. You gotta throw the ball in the strike zone.
Yeah.
His walk rate has not been as high over the last couple of games. The 0-1. The reason we say that, Ryan Dos Santos leads the Intercounty Baseball League in walks this year. Didn't have one against Hamilton, doesn't have one today yet. Here's the 1-1. Dos Santos hits one on the ground up the middle for a base hit. Ryan Dos Santos starts the bottom of the 5th inning with a sharp hit single.
That's just a good swing from him. He's somebody that, you know, has been very critical of how he's been playing early on in the season, especially with his hitting. He wants to be hitting the ball more. And right there, it just rips one right back up the middle. It got all pieces of it.
Javier.
Yeah, every game this season he's found his way on base, if not once, twice, 3 times, or even 4 times. His on-base percentage is close to 500. John Javier hits this one high to center field. That one's going to hang up, though. And that's out. Number 2.
I've mentioned it a bunch so far, but man, I love Javier's swing. It is.
Oh, he almost hit another home run there. Like
I love it.
Yeah, John Javier homered early on, got the Maple Leafs on the board, just missed one to center field.
Jordan Castaldo.
So Jordan Castaldo comes to the plate. He's got a runner on first base. Dos Santos throw gets away. Ryan Dos Santos is headed for second. Is he going to make the turn and go for third? Yes, he is. He's on his way. The throw not in time. And Ryan Dos Santos continues to generate trouble on the base paths for the opposing team. And now Jordan Castaldo can poke him in with a single.
Hey, and Dos Santos, he said to me multiple times, I forget hitting, I am speed. Well, he just displayed the speed right there.
Rob Butler loves it. Well, there's a little bit behind that throw over to first base. So last time Dos Santos was on first, Akatsuka almost picked him off. He was very close. As this one's lined to center and for a base hit. Jordan Castaldo comes up with the knock on the RBI, and the Maple Leafs lead by 2.
And again, just generating runs. That's what the Maple Leafs have done so well to start the year, and Dos Santos did that all on his lonesome. Gets draws the throw from Akatsuka, and then just takes 2 bags with his pure speed. Castaldo, one of the most professional hitters you will see in the IBL, knows what he has to do, just make contact, get it to the outfield, does just that and catches the run.
Just to finish the point on Dos Santos, the first throw over from Akatsuka came a couple innings ago, almost picked him off. So he must have been thinking, okay, Ryan Dos Santos has taken a big lead, which is good for Dos Santos because he's clearly in the pitcher's head. He almost picks him off again, but this time you can see he's trying to be a little bit too perfect with the throw, bounces it in the dirt, gets down the line, and that's the value of Ryan Dos Santos. And that's the value of Jordan Castaldo as well. He knew exactly what he needed to do, didn't need to draw a walk or get on base. He needed to find a pitch over the plate that he could handle and dish it into the outfield, and that's exactly what he did. The 1-1 outside on Rando Moreno.
And you saw it on the game in Hamilton. You mentioned that Dos Santos, his sprint speed looked elite rounding those bases. And he always jokes around and says, I'm getting older now, my speed's going down. I don't think it is. I think it's getting better when you see it.
The 2-2, swing and a miss. Brando Moreno has also been one of the best RBI guys in the Intercounty Baseball League. He's driven in 17 runs on the year, including a couple homers, and he's been great at the plate, hitting .333. Might need an extra base hit here to score Jordan Castaldo from first as he hits this one in the air, down the left side. This one's hooking towards foul territory, and it will get out of play.
We have a lot of fans down that left field line trying to make catches, and somebody went for the catch there, and the crowd all together at the same time hit the honorable aw as the ball missed.
Rando Moreno was just happy that ball hooked out of play. Akatsuka's got him in a 2-2 count. This one's popped right back towards the broadcast booth. Switch pitcher versus switch hitter. Rando Moreno has elected to take the favorable matchup for himself and hit as a lefty. Here's the 2-2. Moreno fouls it straight back again. Look out, Jay. Bounces right over our camera operator's head. with regards to Akatsuka and pitching with both arms, right? And you maybe go more pitches because you're not throwing with the same arm all the time. I wonder if it'd be advantageous for a team to come in with all the same-handed hitter to try and get him out of the game earlier. This one's in the dirt from Akatsuka. If you came in with a lineup that was righty-lefty, 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 that would be good for the pitcher. You'd almost want to stack all of your same-sided hitters together, so you have to throw more pitches from the same side more times in a row to generate more fatigue.
Or if you want to get them completely confused, you got a whole lineup of switch hitters.
Yeah, then you would always get the good matchup.
That's how you win. You get the lineup of all switch hitters. That's how you win the matchups.
3-2. Chopped foul at home plate once again. Rando Moreno, switch hitter, battling hard against switch pitcher Akatsuka. Another 3-2 pitch. Jordan Castaldo will be on the move. Akatsuka trying to get through 5. And it's outside, ball 4. Rando Moreno will head down to first base after a hard-earned walk. Well, this is going to spark a visit to the mound here. Marcus Connect would love a long ball in this situation to try and get back and see if he can't surpass Robert Mullen, who's been hitting the ball well for the Welland Jackfish. He's the back catcher there in Welland. Welland Jackfish right now are leading the Guelph Royals 1-0 in the out-of-town scoreboard. London and Hamilton are also due battle. It's a 3-2 London major lead, and Brantford, who's been playing pretty well lately, up 3-0 on Kitchener. Brantford got a big win last night against the Guelph Royals, who are out of the gates very slow to start this IBL season.
Yeah, the Royals played the Red Sox yesterday and just fell short there. Brantford put together a pretty good game.
Marcus Connect with a couple runners on base here and 2 outs. The 0-1. Strike 1. 1-1. Maple Leafs with 4 runs on 6 hits. Chatham-Kent 2 runs on 9 hits today. The 1-1 to Marcus Connect. And he hits this one high in the air to down the left side. It's in foul territory, and it drops. That ball drops just past or maybe off the outstretched glove of Robert Mackey, who was the third baseman there.
Very interesting to see Mackey go for that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Robert Mackey had the best play at that ball. I thought maybe Braxton Hageth or even Evan Morrison, the shortstop, would have a better read on that, or at least have a better angle coming in on the ball. Braxton Hageth just didn't get there in time. It was a little too far away from him.
Yeah, it's just very awkward for a third baseman to try to make that play. Most of the time, you see a play like that, if a third baseman's going for it, they'll either get to the spot early enough or they'll just do the little basket over the shoulder catch.
Marcus Connect is not a batter you want to give a second life to. He's got one here. The 1-2. Connect. Hits it towards the outfield, and it drops for a base hit. Jordan Castaldo gets the stop sign at third base, and a good throw in. Was a good call by Rob Butler in hindsight. And the bases are loaded now with 2 outs for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, an absolute bullet back to the infield by Morin. But Marcus Connect still hitting the ball hard. Does a good job taking it the other way.
Well, the task of trying to get one of these runners in is now going to fall to Justin Mara. Mara was hit by a pitch earlier in the game, came in to score. Scored on Kaleo Shaw's 2-run shot. First pitch strike to Justin Mara. Mizuki Akatsuka, well over 80 pitches now in this outing. The 0-1 to Mara, just outside.
This is the most we've seen the Leafs threaten really since that Kaleo Shaw home run inning. Other than that, Akinsuka's just shut them down completely. It'd be a big-time moment to try to get something here.
The 1-1. Mara hits it right back up the middle off the pitcher Akatsuka. He fields it and throws to first. And man, Justin Mara just cannot catch a break. He drilled that ball, but it hit the catcher, the pitcher Akatsuka, and the inning will end. So the Maple Leafs had the bases loaded, but they'll have to settle for just the one in the bottom half of the 5th inning and lead 4-2 over Chatham-Kent. It was really gutsy win for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers in their last game. That was against the Hamilton Cardinals. They won it 3-2, and they got a really good start from Brock Whitson. He was kind of the difference maker in that, and then they get the home run by Robert Mackey that ends up winning the game. Mitzi Fukuda stays hot in that game, and all of a sudden, Chatham-Kent Barnstormers find themselves on a little bit of a win streak here coming into this game against the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, it's a big 5-game win streak they've garnered themselves, and you know they've been able to flip their season around. Leafs now have a new pitcher coming out here. It'll be Drew Howard, who we've seen start a lot here for the Leafs. Nothing really out of relief, so it's going to be a first for him. And I like this here, Justin Mara having a conversation with Howard on the mound.
Yeah, this will be a good chance for the Maple Leafs to see what they get from Drew Howard out of a bullpen role. He's off to a bit of a slow start to the season when it comes to starting. He started 2 games against the Maple Leafs, an ERA of 13.50 in the 6 innings he's pitched so far. He'll get Anthony Polowick to lead things off, but you almost wonder if maybe Drew Howard is a little bit better fit out of the bullpen for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and today will go a long way in determining how the Maple Leafs want to utilize Drew Howard this season.
And he has the stuff. His arm is really, really good. And it's been more so just figuring out the control of all of his pitches. And once he can do that, I think things will really go well for Howard.
This one's hit on the ground to short. Good play by Rando Moreno. He whips to first, out number 1. Good start for Drew Howard.
I said it best. Good start for Howard to get the first batter you face out. And he made it on a good pitch as well.
Third baseman number 7, Robert Mackey.
Well, Drew Howard most recently played for the Young Harris Mountain Lions in the NCAA. That was Division II baseball. Pitch in the dirt. Talked to Rob Butler, and the words he used to describe Drew Howard: he's not a big guy, but he's got a big heart. He loves to attack the strike zone. And I've heard Rob Butler talk about a lot of people that he really likes having a big heart. That's high praise from Coach Butler if he says that about you. Facing Robert Mackey, the hero from a game ago. His 2-1 pitches low and away, and now it's 3-1. Drew Howard also played a little bit in the Northwoods League back in 2022. That's some summer baseball, as this one's flared to short. Rhino Moreno gets his second play of the inning, out number 2. And then before he played for the Mountain Lions in the NCAA, he also played for the Tampa Spartans in the Sunshine State Conference. Also NCAA baseball and also Division II ball.
I like looking at your notes there and seeing the Rob Butler quote, all in capitals. Not a big guy, but a big heart.
Yeah, I've got some really dumb
Really-
things in my
really
notes.
had to emphasize it.
Those are not meant for any eyes but myself. A lot of spelling mistakes too.
I just love it was all in caps.
Yeah. The 1-0 is foul out of play. I have a lot of good quotes from Rob Butler. He's a guy that, you know, anytime you ask him about a player, that he's gonna give you his 100% best honest answer about whatever player you're asking about. Doesn't hold back if it's something bad, and if it's something good, he's not afraid to tell you about it either.
He'll let you know.
The 1-0. Up and in. Morin was sent ducking out of the way. Well, Spencer Morin is 0 for 1 today. 2-2 pitch, flared down the left side and foul out of play. But most notably, it's been the catches he's made in the outfield out there in right for the Barnstormers. Couple catches deep in right field. The last one with his back against the wall to take one away from Mara. The 2-2 slashed down the line. This one was about 5 feet foul down the line, a little bit closer this time.
Yeah, and this at bat here, everything has been low and away to Morin. If you're Drew Howard, you try to sneak something on the inner half, make him get jammed a little bit, because he's been reaching out over the plate this whole at bat.
2-2. Goes the other way again, and that one takes a tough hop on Rando Moreno. Went off the dirt and caught him up high, and Morin's going to reach first base.
Moreno looks like he's okay. It looks like he caught him high off the right shoulder. And it looks like Rob Butler's just gonna have a conversation with his pitcher here.
Yeah, and Rob Butler knows Drew Howard pretty well. He coached him growing up. When I asked about him, had a lot of high praise about Drew Howard. And what are they looking at now?
I think it's something to do with the mound, because Rob Butler pointed to the pitcher Drew Howard, and then he signaled the ump to come over as well. So I think it's something to do with the mound. Yeah, umpires signals no mound visit, because I think, again, like I said, I believe it was just something to do with the mound there. Doesn't look like anything injury related. Yeah, Howard looks like he's all okay.
First pitch to Evan Morrison. Howard's 1-0. Morrison takes way inside, now 2-0. Wonder if Drew Howard might be a little bit uncomfortable with that landing spot or something on the mound. All of a sudden, Couple misses to Morrison. Finds the zone with this one, though. It's a good pitch right on the hands, and it's fouled off. Well, if you can believe it, Zach, the Toronto Maple Leafs got Evan Morrison out his last at bat.
It's first time for everything.
First time this season, late in the second game. Another good pitch from Howard, and it's 2-2. Howard trying to put a stop to this top of the sixth right here, and misses just outside. 3-2.
Looked like a changeup he tried to bury low and away, but was not getting Morrison chasing.
Spencer Morin off on the pitch, and it's flared into the outfield. Dos Santos coming in, and he has to let it fall. Now a throw to third base. In time, he got him. Ryan Dos Santos with the cannon from the outfield, cuts down some aggressive base running, and that will get the Toronto Maple Leafs out of the inning. They continue to lead by 2 against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Back here at Dominico Field. Well, I love rock and roll means that Spencer Ross is coming to the plate.
Something in the jukebox, baby. I don't remember.
Put another dime.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
I never knew what it was.
I can't believe I got that.
Oh,
my
nice.
God.
Nice pull.
I don't know anything about anything ever, but I got that. Yeah. The Blackhearts. Yeah, I think so. And this one's hit in the outfield to center. Catch made by Lee Kucera, who's come in for Spencer Marcus in center field after he was ejected.
Center fielder number 15, Kaleo Shaw.
Well, this is the man that has the difference maker in the game so far today, Kaleo Shaw. The big 2-run home run back in the second inning. That's what gave the Leafs the lead, and they've held it ever since.
Shaw takes first pitch high, ball 1. Pitch number 87 from Mizuki Akatsuka is up and in, and now it's 2-0 on Kaleo Shaw. Akatsuka's 2-0. Shaw takes a strike. You know, that's some good discipline there from Kaleo Shaw. It's easy as a young player to see the 2-0 pitch and just think, oh, I'm going to get a fastball grooved right down the middle. But, you know, he waited for his pitch. He's waiting for the pitch that he likes. That was the one he likes. He taps one on the ground to third. Barehand play, throw to first. What a play by Robert Mackey. The stretch at first base by Wagner, but Mackey just made a heck of a play to get Shaw.
That was impressive to say the least. I thought he was going to backhand glove it at first, but he sticks that right hand out, grabs it, and makes a dime of a throw over to first.
I think he had to barehand that ball too. If he had wasted time on a transfer, Kaleo Shaw can really boogie down the line there. Yep, that was just in time throw right on the money to Wagner, who had a big stretch at first base to record the out. Connor Lewis comes to the plate. 1 for 2 on the day. The 1-0. Lewis hits this one to left, and I think he broke his bat. The ball dropped in foul territory, so yeah, Lewis is going to have to go get some more lumber. Toronto Maple Leafs very happy to have Connor Lewis back in the lineup. He's been a mainstay of this Toronto Maple Leafs lineup over the last few seasons, and last year he really emerged. The power really started to emerge for Connor Lewis last year. Came up with some big hits for the Maple Leafs.
He had a good hit in his first at-bat. He really smoked a line drive through the left side. And you mentioned it, you know, the big moments he had last year, the couple home runs. It just looked like a really good hitter in the box.
Lewis takes a strike, and it's 1-2. I'm almost wondering if those clutch moments kind of was a little more added motivation for Lewis this season, because I heard he worked really hard over the offseason to kind of get back ready for this season, and then had an injury early on, which I'm sure was a bit frustrating, and I think he's really happy to be back on the field for the Maple Leafs. Takes low in the dirt, 2-2 now.
And it just also adds some more depth to this Maple Leafs team when you have Connor Lewis playing at the level that he's able to.
This one's popped up behind home plate, but it'll drift over the backstop.
Almost a really nice bare-hand grab behind home plate.
This will be the 94th pitch now from Akatsuka.
Now, obviously, we've talked at lengths of it, but the last couple innings, he is just stuck as primarily a right-handed pitcher. To get through the rest of this game, do you think he could just go left?
I don't know.
Because he's rested his left arm.
The 2-2 swung on a miss by Lewis, but he'll hustle down to first base. Out-recorded by Mitzi Fukuda as he whips it down there, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. So over 90 pitches for Akatsuka. He gets a handshake from his manager, although they're having a bit of a conversation, so I wonder if he's going to stay on the game or not. We'll see next inning. And take a quick break now. 4-2 Maple Leafs. Well, back here at Dominico Field, that's a Yami Sato warming up for the Toronto Maple Leafs as we take a look at the ERA leaders in the Intercounty Baseball League this season. And the Toronto Maple Leafs last in that department. The team ERA over 7 right now, but the start today by Josh Berenbaum and now Drew Howard coming in, getting through a scoreless inning. These are two very promising signs for the Maple Leafs to try and turn that around, because if they want to get back above 500, they got to get that ERA in check.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is just, you know, we knew this pitching staff was better than they've shown, and really today was kind of that step forward, especially for a guy like Berenbaum and Howard.
At least out of the starter role, they still got a couple innings to go here, but I mean, the early innings, Toronto Maple Leafs starters did have some issues. The 0-1 lifted to left, over goes Ryan Dos Santos. He dives and he can't get it. Shaw picks it up against the wall. Lee Kucera, in his first at-bat of the day, is aboard with a double.
That ball off the bat of Lee Kucera, you know, it wasn't hit particularly hard. It looked like it started to die out there in left field, and that's when Dos Santos tried to go all out to get to it.
Well, Kucera's on base. We talked about it's kind of a bummer for the Barnstormers that they don't have Spencer Marcus in the lineup. Well, Kucera comes out in and does something very Spencer Marcus-like. He hits a double. And now Mitzi Fukuda will try and drive him in. First pitch to Fukuda is strike 1. Mitzi Fukuda has also had a good day at the plate. He's 2 for 3. The 0-1. That one's there for a strike. Howard's 0-2. Little soft liner right to Rando Moreno at shortstop. He makes the catch, and that's out number 1.
That's a good hitter that they just got out. Fukuda has been really just the definition of contact.
Well, the Maple Leafs and Josh Berenbaum had Sadler Goodwin's number today. Came in hitting .400, but he's 0 for 3 today, and he struck out twice. Swings and misses at the first pitch, and Howard gets ahead in the count. Howard's 0-1. Finds the inside corner, strike 2.
I love how quickly Drew Howard is working. He's throwing the pitch, getting the ball back, and he's right back on the rubber looking for his sign.
Looking for the punch out now. Howard's 0-2 pitch. Just outside.
It's a smart pitch. You just had him look at an outside off-speed pitch. Why not try to groove a fastball there, maybe a little further out? You make him think, and now you've set yourself up nicely.
The 1-2. It's tapped back to Howard. Throw to first for the out. Runner will advance to third base. That's Lee Kucera. Boy, in hindsight, the Maple Leafs did kind of have Lee Kucera in no man's land there between second and third base, but at this point in the ballgame with a lead, when you're just kind of chasing outs, probably best just to throw that ball to first base. But the reason that Kucera ended up at third base there was because he was halfway down the line when that ball was fielded. Braxton Hegeth at the dish now.
When you look at that play, Howard picked it up. He didn't even really look at Kucera because, you know, he has faith in himself to just attack Braxton Hegeth here. He's pitching very, very well.
Some more action in the Leafs bullpen. They kind of had double-barreled action when Ayami Sato was down there last time we saw them. Now it's Adam Jaffine who's looks like he's getting loose. The 1-1 pitch to left and hooking down the line and drops in foul territory. Ryan Dos Santos was flying over there, but Wasn't able to get there in time. If Ayami Sato ends up coming to this game, the interesting thing is that the only run that the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers got off Sato in her last outing against the Barnstormers was Spencer Marcus. He hit the home run on the very first pitch he saw. So that's one threat out of the lineup for Sato to face, I guess. Howard's 2-2 to Hagath. Fouled off.
Credit Hagath here. He's putting up a really good at-bat against Drew Howard.
Braxton Hagath is 1 for 3 today.
Fly out to the center field, grounded to the pitcher, and he singled last time up.
Now he takes outside ball 3. The count runs full. The on-deck batter is Tim Wagner, the first baseman, who has also got a hit today, but hitting .222 on the season. The 3-2 popped up. Rando Moreno coming over. He's calling for it, and he's got it. Drew Howard gets through another scoreless inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs, this time in the top of the 7th, and holds the lead at 2 for Toronto here at Christie Pitts. Well, Aiden Ryan has been one of the better pitchers in the Chatham-Kent bullpen thus far, and he's going to take over for Mizuki Akatsuka, who had a pretty good start here at Christie Pitts, gave up the 4 runs, and now the question is, can the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers bullpen keep it close and give their team a chance to win?
Yeah, the Leafs, they've had their opportunities to extend. They just haven't been able to. Again, credit Akatsuka, who just pitched a phenomenal game, really, for the side of Chatham-Kent. But one man that's happy not to see Akatsuka on the mound, it's the guy coming up to play, Ryan Dos Santos. Happy to see a right-handed pitcher this time.
Well, this is a tough test because he'll get the top of the order. Ryan Dos Santos first, and the first pitch in the dirt. Top guys out of the bullpen for the Barnstormers this year, Ryan and Garrett Day. Those top 2 guys that they've gone to. Ryan has pitched 9 innings already this year. The 1-1. Outside, 2-1 now. Well, Ryan's record hasn't been spotless when it comes to getting hit as this pitch is outside, or walking batters for that matter. Walked 5 in the 9 innings that he pitched, also struck out 13, but He's got himself out of some jams with 9 strikeouts over the 9 innings he's pitched. The 2-1. And there for a strike. Actually, I think that was a 3-1 pitch. Full count, outside, ball 4. Ryan Dos Santos will draw a walk and head down to first base.
Yeah, what else is new?
Yeah.
Another walk by Dos Santos, and will not be surprised if we see his speed come into play here again.
Baseman number 77.
Yeah, Ryan Dos Santos has had a really good day. I think it kind of stems off of the bunt base hit that he had in Hamilton. Kind of brought that momentum into today, a walk, a hit, and also made a great play to throw at a runner at third base last inning.
Yeah, we talk about his plus speed all the time, and gotta give a shout out to his new puppy, or his new dog, I should say, Kuna, who's helped him get into shape with running. They've been doing a lot of running in the field by their house. I can confirm that.
Dos Santos scampers back to first after Mitzi Fukuda looked him back. John Javier, who way back in the first inning hit a solo home run to get the Maple Leafs on the board. Javier with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs on the season. Now he hits one on the ground to third, played by Mackey, throw to second for 1, back to first, in-time double play. What a turn by Polowek after picking that ball out of the dirt, threw it on to Wagner, and that's a big one for the Barnstormers here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, the Maple Leafs keep having their chance. They get the runners on base. It's just, they get unfortunate luck right there. The double play comes through.
Well, that's going to bring Jordan Castaldo to the plate with nobody on. That's a big difference for Chatham-Kent. They want to keep runners off the base paths with Jordan Castaldo and just his baseball resume at the plate. Castaldo is 2 for 2 today, so he's got that batting average up to .414 on the season. And Jordan Castaldo's done it all in the Inter-County Baseball League. .414 is not out of the reach in terms of batting average for a season for Castaldo. Look back to 2019 when he won the Triple Crown and also the IBL championship with the Barrie Baycats. For that matter, he did that 6 times in his career with Barrie. Not many people in the IBL can say they did that. The 1-1 in the dirt.
I mean, I think it's safe to say he can go down easily as one of the greatest players we've seen in the IBL for what he's done defensively, offensively, and different parts of his offensive game too, whether it be hitting the ball, walking, or just smart baseball.
Chops one on the ground to second, and this is going to end the inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That was some pretty good defense there by the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. They get John Javier to ground into a tough double play from third to second to first, and that kind of defined the outing there for Aiden Ryan and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers as they get through a scoreless frame against Toronto.
Happy Father's Day. Now batting the first baseman, number 33, Timmy Wagner Jr.
Back here at Dominico Field, top of the 8th inning. Pulling out some hockey names, are you there,
Yeah,
Zach?
you know.
I know there's a lot of hockey players actually on this Chatham-Kent roster. I remember last season, if you looked up the roster for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, half the team had an elite prospects profile as well as a baseball
I
reference.
mean, they pulled up in the Sarnia Sting bus, you know.
Oh yeah, good point. That's pretty good.
I learned that, you know, most hockey player nicknames, it's always you just add ski at the end,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's just kind of just roll with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you shorten their name. It's one of the two. You shorten the name, or you add ski.
Yeah, kind of, Zach, but let's just stick to baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too late in the hockey season to be still talking about hockey. The 0-2, strike 3 called. Drew Howard gets the strikeout on Wagner. He was the right-handed batter. Now a lefty comes to the plate. And we'll see if the Maple Leafs go to Adam Jeffine
Second
here.
baseman, number 4, Anthony Polo.
Well, looks like they're going to stick with Drew Howard.
Sticking with the hot hand.
Polowick takes strike 1. The 0-1, strike 2. Drew Howard working quickly and looking good here to start off the 8th inning.
Nothing wrong with this. What a quick start.
That pitch in the dirt, 1-2. I mean, Howard stretched out. He can go as long as the Maple Leafs need him at this point. He started games. First 2 were starts. Another strikeout. Perfect pitch on the inner half. 2 away.
And you can't be mad about the decision. He's feeling himself right now. I mean, he's working quickly, and when a pitcher has a certain tempo on the mound, that's how you know they're in a zone, they're in a groove. Howard has demonstrated that beautifully here in the 8th. 2 back-to-back looking strikeouts.
Now he gets another righty and Robert Mackey. Strike 1.
This is electric. Look at this. Already back in his set.
Outside 1-1. Back on the mound, get the sign. What do you got for me, Justin? Yep, that'll do. 1-1. Swinging a foul tip at home plate, strike 2. Come on,
Look how
Justin.
quickly.
Throw down that sign. Sure.
Off speed. Here we go.
1-2. Outside. That's all right.
It's just he's working so quick, and the hitters. Great point by Gus over here saying,
Fastball?
call
Sure.
time.
Up high. Count full now. Now does he take a breath? He does.
It takes one small breath.
The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. That was a good breaking ball.
I like that call by Justin Mara. You know, he might have more control with that fastball, but going right back to the breaker on the outside is not a bad pitch whatsoever.
Back to the fastball in the 3-2, and it's fouled off.
Again, a good sequence. You threw, like you said, you threw a really good breaking ball in the outside half, and now you have to make the hitter kind of extend a little bit more with that fastball.
Right back to it. Another 3-2. Strike 3 called. Drew Howard comes out in the top of the 8th inning and strikes out the side. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers are down to their final 3 outs, but first the Maple Leafs will try and get some insurance.
batting the shortstop.
Maple Leafs looking for some insurance runs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Aiden Ryan back on the mound, and Rando Moreno will step to the plate for the Maple Leafs.
Very interested to see how the top of the 9th goes here for the Leafs for the pitching side.
Moreno lines one to first, picked at first base. What a play by Wagner. That's out number 1.
I'm looking at my scorebook here, partner. What a satisfying 8th inning to see there. Just backwards K, backwards K, backwards K from Drew Howard.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts
Wow.
all looking.
Number 4.
That's what happens when you pitch before the batter's ready.
You don't give him time to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, Howard just got in a rhythm. Got in a rhythm, and no one called time to throw him out of it.
And that's why I say it's interesting in the top of the 9th to see. You have Adam Javine warming up. Taylor Lappard is starting to throw. Or do you just go back with Howard and let him finish this one out?
Not sure. We thought maybe Jeffine was going to come in to face the lefty. But Drew Howard said, I got this. Connect lines it up the middle. That's in for a base hit. So Marcus Connect gets aboard for the 2nd time today. Although if the Maple Leafs go on to win this game, I think the home run streak will probably be over for Marcus Connect.
Yeah, it's a streak that's tough to keep going, but, you know, after missing almost an entire weekend, you come back, you go 2 for 4 on the day. That's not a bad day whatsoever.
Yeah, Marcus Connect stays hot, but the ball stays in the yard today for Marcus. Justin Mara at the dish takes strike 1. Well, bottom of the 8th inning here. This game has been ticking along at a crisp 2 hours and 18 minutes so far.
I don't want to say anything.
Yeah. Easily on pace to be the shortest game of the season for the Maple Leafs.
Why? Now, why'd you go and do that?
Whatever. If they go to extras, free baseball. We're having fun.
We're having a great time. But you never jinx that saying it's on pace for it.
The 1-1 Amara sharply hit up the middle for a base hit. Justin Mara gets aboard with the single, and he's 1 for 3 on the day. Spencer Ross back to the plate for the Maple Leafs. 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout. Ross has a runner in scoring position with Marcus Connect on second base. Justin Mara, the runner, on first. Well, think about how big that play was at first base. Tim Wagner made a heck of a pick on a sharply hit ball by Rando Moreno to start the inning. And if you look back to what happened after that, this run might have been in already for the Maple Leafs in this inning without that great play by Wagner. Ross flares this one down the line. Is it playable for Wagner? He dives, and that was a great effort. Didn't make the catch, but that was a full-out dive. He did everything he possibly could to catch that baseball.
Yeah, it's the same play that we saw on the other side of the diamond with Mackey a couple innings ago, where it's so hard for an infielder to run out and make that play like that from that angle. Again, we've seen players where they either get to the spot first and are able to plant themselves, get adjusted, or a person that makes that catch famously known as the basket catch over the shoulder, where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. does it more than anybody I ever see.
I think he made another one of those yesterday, right?
Do you think he practices those?
I don't know. If you play quarter infield your whole life, you're going to get a lot of them. The 0-2 to Ross. Foul back. "22 pitches in this outing by Aiden Ryan. He's got through an inning and a third so far. About 75% strikes as well. Another 0-2 to Spencer Ross. Ross takes in the dirt, blocked by Mitzi Fukuda.
This is a good at-bat put up here by Ross.
That block by Fukuda keeps the runners where they are. That keeps the double play in order as well. That's what Aiden Ryan's hoping for right now. A strikeout's great, but if he can get Ross to reach for maybe one of those outside pitches or jam him inside, he might be able to get him to ground into a double play. The 1-2. Ross lines it into the outfield. That's down for a base hit. Rob Butler is going to send Marcus Connect home. Some trouble in the outfield. So that's going to allow Justin Marr to go to third base as well. And Spencer Ross comes through with an RBI single.
And that's just a really good gift for a player that's swinging the bat pretty well here. Spencer Ross puts together a really, really good at-bat. Loved his process there. Battled off a couple tough pitches, and then the last one he takes the opposite way, just bloops it in for a base hit.
Kaleo Shaw is going to come to the plate here for the Maple Leafs. Shaw, the big swing today, the home run to make it 3-2 Toronto. Looking for another RBI here. First pitch swinging, Shaw fouls it off.
Usually in a game like this situation, you'd see Dustin Richardson warming up. And that's why I was questioning, it'd be interesting who they're going to go to. Who's getting the save opportunity, barring, Toronto doesn't continue to add on here.
Shaw takes a strike, so now he's behind 0-2. Big add-on run for the Maple Leafs in the inning. An RBI single by Spencer Ross. 1 out, runners on the corners. The 0-2 to Shaw. Check swing. He went around on a pitch in the dirt. That's strike 3. And a frustrated Shaw will head back to the dugout.
Designated hitter number 26, Connor Lewis.
Well, the add-on runs don't have to end here for the Maple Leafs. They wouldn't mind a little more insurance before the 9th inning.
Yeah, never a bad thing.
We believe that the Maple Leafs' biggest arm in the bullpen, Dustin Richardson, is not available today because he hasn't been throwing down in the pen. Here's the 1-0 to Lewis. This one's hit on the ground to short. And Evan Morrison will go the short way to second base to Anthony Polowick, and that will retire the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the 8th inning, but they get a clutch hit from Spencer Ross, an RBI single, and they've extended the lead to 3. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers coming up down to their final 3 outs at Christie Pitts. Adam Jaffine is going to come in here for the Toronto Maple Leafs, looking to lock down the save against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Jaffine has only had 2 outings this season. One went really well against the Brantford Red Sox. That was part of the Maple Leafs 9-8 win that they won here at Christie Pitts, and then last time as well at Christie Pitts against the Welland Jackfish. And his former team in the Welland Jackfish found a way to get to him. 3 earned runs over an inning and a third for Jaffine. Jaffine will get the number 9 hitter to start things off here in the top of the 9th inning, and it's up and in, ball 1.
And that first pitch, that's kind of been the issues we've seen with Jaffine so far this year. It's a little bit of just a high release point where the breaking ball, for the most part, has been the pitch that he's kind of, it slips out of his hand. It's hitting those left-handed hitters.
This one slashed down the line, foul. Adam Jaffine has been a starter for the majority of his Inter-County Baseball League career, so this would be his first career save if he can lock it down here against Chatham-Kent. The 1-1 on Spencer Morin. Squaring to bunt, gets it down. Jaffine is going to have to field this ball. Whips to first, safe. Safe at first base. They're going to say Jordan Castaldo came off the bag with his foot fielding that base. Actually, the ball looks like it dropped out of the glove of Castaldo as well.
Yeah, it looks like it was a mix of both where Castaldo just had to kind of reach for it awkwardly and gets pulled off the bag and the ball drops out. But credit to Morin right there, hustling out of the box right away. It's a tough play for Jaffine to make. You have to completely spin as a left-handed pitcher coming off the mound.
So the first runner reaches, the tying run in the on-deck circle for Chatham-Kent. Evan Morrison hits this one to third, knocked down by Javier, flips to second for 1, back to first, not in time, but what a play by John Javier from his backside to get the lead runner and nearly turn a double play.
We talk about utility players and what they're able to bring to the team. John Javier has just brought so much, able to play multiple different positions. Playing third base right there makes a great stop, and he doesn't panic. He stays settled, gets the ball, makes a good throw over to Ross to get the lead runner.
That's a big out, number 1. Keep the tying run off the plate. That's the key for the Maple Leafs here in the top of the 9th. This is Lee Kucera. Kucera hits one to third. Javier fields it. This is going to be a long throw to first, and it's offline, goes up the line. This one goes into the Chatham-Kent bullpen. Jordan Castaldo hustled over to get that baseball, so he keeps one of the runners at first base, but Evan Morrison gets to third.
And that was always going to be a tough play for Javier to make. He stopped that on his back foot. His momentum carried him into foul territory. And he would have had to make a Manny Machado-esque type of play right there.
Yeah, you know, it was possible, I think, for Javier to make that play. I think he could. He's got the arm strength. We've seen him really whip the ball over there to first base, but that was going to be a tough one for Javier. Fukuda at the plate now, lines one to second. Flip to first for 1. Double play. That'll do it. Adam Jaffine locks down the save. A sharp hit ball to Spencer Ross, and he turns 2. And the Toronto Maple Leafs will come away with the win here at Christie Pitts.
And what a final play right there for Spencer Ross. That one took a wicked hop off of the lip of the grass, and Ross, with the reaction time, makes the play, double play to end it. What a fantastic, really full team game it was for the Leafs. The pitching was phenomenal. Hitting, the timely hitting was phenomenal, and then they added on late. A really good team win for the Maple Leafs. The must-win token was cashed in, and it was used wisely.
Yeah, they do get this big must-win game against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers to kind of knock them out of a little bit of a slump, and some good performances today. Kaleo Shaw, how about that? Gets his first Inter-County Baseball League home run. That was great. Essentially ended up winning the ball game for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they only needed 3 runs to beat the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And then Josh Barenbaum, who has been battling through starts and not coming into great situations, kind of just been the guy who we need some innings from you, so he has to go out there and throw 100 pitches. Well, he pretty much did that today, but this time he had some backup behind them, came out free and easy and looked great. Drew Howard pitched 3 innings in relief, looked great, and the ERA continues to lower a little bit for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are getting better and better in this category. And I mean, Zach, if they get performances like this, that's going to go a long way to turning things around and getting them well over 500 this season.
Yeah, I mean, they looked really good so far today, and they played a really good game, a full team game. And that was the key thing when you look at it. And, I mean, the pitching has been something that we've talked about numerous times. You know, when are these guys going to start to click? When are multiple of these pitchers going to be able to string a good outing together? I think today was a really good example of just multiple guys doing what they needed to do, executing a really good game plan, and, you know, they come away with the victory.
Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, 2 runs on 12 hits and 1 error. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 5 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. And it's the Toronto Maple Leafs who win here on this Sunday afternoon on Father's Day at the Christie Pits.